Yo YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Kari here, back again with another video. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Show your boy some love. Today, I got some advice for the youth, man. Some things that I wish I heard a little bit earlier on. And I just want to get some things straight and let you know that you got options, you know? And really, the basis of this conversation is all around rap music today in 2023. I just want to say that rappers in the States always try to be harder than the next person, you know? And that type of lifestyle will only get you killed or thrown in jail or just waste your whole life. You'll be broken and confused and stuff like that. Because as you grow as a man, that type of lifestyle, that type of living does not really do anything for you. You gotta start to think differently, man. And you know, there's nothing wrong with being a rapper, but in today's world, I think that most of the rap is basically all about negativity, all about killing one another and these types of things. So let's get into it. Again, this is really targeted at the youth and, you know, a lot of people that might be in their 20s or 30s or 40s, you know, but just maybe had some of these similar thoughts, but never was able to act on them or have them confirmed, because nobody really says anything bad about rappers today. You know, it's not a lot of people in the community, in the black community, that come out and say, hey, so this music might sound cool, but it's actually not helping us as a people. It's not doing anything good for us. So first things first, guys, I just want to say, don't try to be like these guys. Don't try to be like these rappers. The lifestyle that they perpetuate is a trap to make you end up dead, in jail, broke, or confused, or all a combination of all of that, right? And nowadays, rap is all about killing one another, smashing someone else's girlfriend, selling drugs, doing drugs. Literally every major rap song has a loop of those 3 or 4 things, and none of which are good for you. You know what I'm saying? Killing one another. What positivity is there to come from gang wars, looking for ops, you know, always having a 30 on you, always having a gun on you? This type of stuff is not good, man. Who wants to live like that? You know, my perfect world is where nobody would need a gun. Of course, we have guns in this world, but, you know, I feel like having a gun sometimes will get you into trouble, because just because you have a gun on you, you're more likely to pop off at the mouth, you know, because you know if you pull that out, then you can shut it all down, right? Like, supposedly, but you don't know what the next guy has and the next guy. And so this whole having a gun for protection sometimes can get you into trouble. You know, people don't think about that. Like, what if you're getting robbed and you got a gun on you? You're gonna feel like you need to either use that gun or do something with that gun, because if you don't, the person robbing you is going to either see the gun, he might freak out and think you're trying to pull it or something. It's just like opens you up to more problems. While I enjoy guns, I'm from Texas, man. I'm not saying we should take guns away from anybody, but I think there's a time and a place. Like, guns for me, I like to go to the range, I like to shoot guns. I think, you know, hunting and stuff like that, and maybe in the house or in the car for personal protection, but it really takes the right type of personality to be able to handle that. I think there's a lot of people with the wrong personality type that have guns. And so, you know, if you're the type of person that can't walk away from a heated situation, or you don't know how to diffuse situations, then you probably shouldn't have a gun. Again, another thing, smashing your friend's girlfriend, having sex with all these women, and all this type of stuff. Like, rap makes it seem like you gotta be having sex with all these strippers, or you need to be doing all the nasty stuff that the rappers talk about. Like, they say some nasty stuff, like, in their rhymes, you know, and it's so vulgar. It's like the girl, you know, they'll say stuff like, the girl sucked my you know what until it changed colors or something. Like, just like, as a rapper, they have to keep, you know, figuring out new ways to say the same thing. And it's gotten to the point where they just say the boldest and wildest stuff that just make you sit back and be like, what? Like, that don't even make no sense. Like, you know, I get the point. I get what you're trying to say. Like, okay, you get a lot of girls or, you know, whatever. But, you know, no one in rap talks about, you know, building a family. You know what I mean? Hardly anyone. Like, Kanye, one of the only ones. And that's why I respect Kanye so much, because, you know, he did multiple gospel albums. You know, even his old first albums, he wasn't on that type of gang stuff, talking about negativity. You know, he was just shedding a lot of light on, like, real life situations, like when it all falls down, like how it is, how women were in that time and day. and whatnot. So I like that type of real rap, you know, stuff like J. Cole, you know, I could get into that type of stuff. I'm not a big Kendrick fan, but I respect his stuff because it does have a good undertone to it, right? Another big problem with rap today is it really makes you feel insufficient, and it really has an undertone of like, I'm better than you, I'm better than the next guy, I'm better than that guy, only because I got on designer clothes, or, you know, I got on all this jewelry and all this type of stuff. So it really promotes this materialistic inferiority amongst ourselves, which is so toxic, so unhealthy. It'd be wrong if I didn't mention it. So if you got clothes on your back, if you got food to eat, if you got a roof over your head, then you're good. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to have Gucci this, Gucci that, Louis that. You know, if you want to work towards that, you know what I'm saying, as a goal, great. You know what I mean? I like nice stuff. I like gold. You know, I like expensive stuff too. But, you know, I don't like the fact that rap makes you feel like you have to have that type of stuff. I really train my mind to be like, look, man, like, you want to work towards that stuff, but you want to work towards that in the right way. So is that you're not using the actual money that you work for to go spend it and give it to those guys. Now, for me, I like to put my money into investments so that those investments give me extra cash that I'm not working for all the time. You know what I'm saying? So dividend income, stock increase, you know, stocks going up in price, rental income, you know, letting your money work for yourself. That's something I learned through reading books, you know, educating myself on things like YouTube and even my YouTube channel, man. Even if I don't upload any videos for a month, I'm still getting some money out of it, you know? So I try to look for things that I can do that are gonna create that residual income. And so, yeah, with that money, I'm a little bit more comfortable spending it on something nice, right? But I will never want to spend all the money that I make from like a job or something like that on designer clothes or stuff that I just don't need, right? It just doesn't make any sense, guys. So there's no financial education in rap music, hardly ever. There's very few rappers that really teach you how to make money. Like Money Man. I do like Money Man. He talks a lot about scamming, but he talks a lot about health and all this type of stuff, which is a little bit different. He does have the typical type of topics in his music, but still, he does a good job of mixing it up, I think. Anyway, it's important to just take note of like what that does to your psyche. Always trying to be better than the next guy. Always trying to talk down like whatever the next guy has isn't good enough. You know what I mean? Because you spent $2,000 on your jeans or something. Like, it's just insane, guys. Like, we have so much work to do as a people. Why are we spending money on all this designer stuff trying to make other people like us that really don't even like us in the first place? You know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's only gonna click if you think for yourself. A lot of people are gonna say, man, this Kari HQ don't know what he's talking about. He's just talking mess, you know, whatever. He don't know, like, man, I want them Amiris, I want that Gucci, all this. Okay, fine, man, but you'll see when you know, when you get up there in age and stuff like that. I'm still in my 20s, but you know, when you get up there and you see and look at all the money and time you wasted, man, it's not going to be a good feeling, you know. So the sooner you can learn those lessons, the better. That's why, you know, I put that stuff on my channel, man, and that's why you need to subscribe. And then the last part that is a big focus for most rappers today is selling drugs, guys. Like, selling and doing drugs. Like, okay, how many times do you hear them say pack? You know, they talking about weed and all the, you know, the drugs that they sell, trapping and all this type of stuff. Well, you know, that's not a good thing for you. That's not a good thing that you would want to even get into. That type of lifestyle, having to sell drugs and things like that, it doesn't pay off in the end. You know, and a lot of times you got so much to worry about, so much stress. You got to worry about people that want to rob you. You got to worry about making sales. You gotta worry about, well, if the economy is down, then how can I, you know, still provide for my family? Then you gotta worry about the police everywhere you go. You riding around with a big sack on you, you know what I mean, smoking backwoods in the car with a big sack on you. Like, that's no way to live, man. That's just not cool. Like, I'm sorry, man, I gotta say it, but you know, I'm not saying that if you like enjoying weed that you should stop smoking weed. Like, if you want to smoke weed or something, that's fine with me. You know, even doing it in the car or whatever, but there's a time and a place. Like, get your work done first, you know what I mean? don't smoke weed if you become unproductive on weed. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Literally. So overall, I really think the rap music today lacks creativity, since everyone copies everyone's flow. Like, once you hear one person rap in a new way, then everybody seems to do the same thing. I remember Drake was copying like the Migos flow for a while, and then, you know, different rappers were copying 𝐥𝐸𝐬𝐻's new flow. And, you know, as soon as somebody comes out with a new flow, it seems to always get copied by the masses. And not only that, but like the producers go and literally try to make copies of that exact same song. Like, oh, that was a hit, let's go and like kind of remake that beat and make it a little bit different and try to get a hit. You know, so it's just so much biting going on. And I know that happens with a lot of music, like even Latin music can sound very similar, right? So that's more of a music thing. But when it comes to rap and when they not talking about nothing, it just really is getting to a point where I just have trouble listening to it sometimes. And I don't like copycats. I like for the person that originally created something to be known for what they created. You know, I don't believe that, you know, it's okay to come and steal someone's flow. Just like I don't believe it's okay for someone to come and steal my talking points in my videos, or come and steal anything from my content and go try to reuse it. Even if they have a bigger platform, even if they get more views with it, you know, it's still wrong in my opinion. So and overall, you know, I'm not saying don't listen to rap completely. You know, I just want to call out why I feel like rap is going in the wrong direction. And on another hand, if you can't handle it, you know, if your mind is not developed enough, if you're too easily influenced, then rap is definitely not for you. Because the problem with rap is a lot of the people that listen to it are very impressionable, and they can't decipher between what's real and what's fake. And although it might sound good, it might have a good beat and all that, they listening to the words and they start, you know, it starts getting into their psyche, and then they start living a certain way. I think only certain people that can handle that type of content should be able to listen to it, man, because these kids that don't know right from wrong, yet they start listening to that type of music and they think that that's real life. They think that that's really what they need to be doing. And so it's really a slippery slope when it comes to rap. And a lot of people are in denial, man. A lot of people listen to this rap music and, oh, it's not affecting me, when it really is. And you can tell, like, you know what I mean? So a lot of people end up in denial when it comes to the effects that rap music has on them. A lot of people don't want to admit it. I mean, we love our rap music in the Black community. You know, that's been like one of our things that we can hang our hat on, is like the hip hop community. But I wonder why it's kind of suspicious that, you know, we were allowed to have all this negative rap music, but we couldn't have our patriots, you know, living with us, like Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X. Why couldn't we have those movements, the civil rights movement, all those movements live on, the Black Panther movement live on, but we could have this toxic rap music live on with us? It's just a funny irony, you know? And so, you know, think about that, guys. And smoking weed all day and all that might be easy for a rapper, but to do that for the average person, man, is gonna slow you down. When you got things to do, when you gotta have your focus and all that type of stuff, that smoking weed and all that, popping perks and sipping lean and all that, people really will sit there and say it has no effect on them. Like, you know, I can't put myself in your shoes completely, but I know if I was doing that, then it would have an effect on me, if I'm being honest, you know? And so, hey, do what you want, but the next guy that is maintaining his focus and that's really conscious about what he's putting into his body is gonna have a leg up on you, in my opinion. And heavy drugs like the perks and the lean and all that, that can lead to very strong addictions, guys. And you don't wanna be in your 20s heavily addicted to something like that, because you could end up taking bad drugs like fentanyl, which they seem to be putting in everything. You could end up overdosing. You could just end up always, you know, broke because you spending your money on that. Like, I know dudes that are proud to say they spend $2,000-$3,000 a week on drugs. Like, rappers be doing that type of stuff, and that is insane. Like, do you know what you could be building for your future with that? Do you know what your, you know, all them kids you got, what they could be doing with that, you know, in terms of putting them into sports or putting them into extracurricular activities or putting them into programs like science programs or something like that, you know, or getting them a language tutor so they could learn 3 or 4 different languages before they turn 10. People don't think like that, which is sad, but that's what rap music has kind of done to our community. So in my case, I try to listen to positive rap music because I still like the cadence, I still like the sound of rap. And growing up with rap, you know, it's still just a big part of my life, but I really try to listen to some of the more positive artists. I really like to try to listen to them more than all the people that don't talk about nothing, you know? And I usually listen to rap when I'm working out or when I'm driving, you know. It really makes me drive fast sometimes depending on the beat, but yeah, I try to use it like when I want to get in a hoorah kind of mood, you know, like when you're working out, you kind of need something a little punchy, you know, to give you that extra energy, you know, and I like the cadence of rap for when I'm working out. So those are the main times I listen to rap. Like I don't start my morning hardly ever just listening to hardcore trap music. Like it's just too much for me, man. Like I gotta have some type of serenity, some type of calmness in my day when I start my day. And so when I do listen to rap, even when I'm working out, more often than not, I find myself questioning almost all the lyrics in the songs. Like, I know this person is not living that type of life. Even if they were, that seems like a horrible way to live. Like, always looking out for ops and fear your life, you know what I mean? Like, or having to deal with drug fiends all the time and stuff. You know, that seems like a horrible way to live. Who would want to live like that? But these guys in rap make it seem cool. So, you know, it is what it is. I just want to speak to people and let them know that, hey, if you feel like that's not for you, then don't feel like that's the only music you got out there, right? Then in real life too, this is one of the more ironic things about the whole rap game and stuff is that we've seen so many of these rappers that we idolize get shot down in various different ways, from Young Dolph to Nipsey Hussle to XXXTentacion to PNB Rock most recently, and was it Takeoff from the Migos, you know, and just all these people, one after another, and it's like doing something to our minds, I feel like, and we don't really notice it. Like, to see people that we idolize get killed like that, there's no other genre of music where that happens, you know, and these are tragic deaths, you know, and you can't really say nothing or really be surprised because a lot of times the rapper, they promoted that lifestyle, you know. Most of these guys talked about guns. Now, not all of them, like I could say Nipsey really talked a lot of positivity into his raps, but you know, he still was in the hood and doing, and, you know, kind of one foot in, one foot out, still keeping it gangster, you know. And so, and I don't know how he was living, you know, he may not have been checking in that much, but either way, to see that happen, it really desensitizes us as a people, you know. And while a lot of the other races, they might listen to rap from time to time, they don't get very informed on these rappers like we do. Like, it's like for a lot of black folk, we know all the stats of a rapper, like we know all the stats of a football player or a football team or the NFL, right? Or the NBA or something like that. Like, we could say, oh, his first album dropped this time, it sold this many copies, and you know, it's like we really as a race support our rap community a lot, and we give them a lot of our money and a lot of our attention. And does it really serve us is the question, you know? Does it really bring back what we get put into it, you know, in a positive way, when there's a lot of other options out there, in my opinion? So again, I'm convinced that the whole rap genre was created to miseducate gullible and impressionable people. Like, at this point, with what I've seen in my life and kind of, you know, having my eyes open to the world and just being able to think for myself, that's how I feel about it. You know, I feel like the powers that be do support the rap game, and, you know, they promote the negativity in the rap game because it has an effect on the black people. And so, you know, it's so hard for a rapper to talk positivity and to be promoted and you know, to have success in the rap game, to get record deals and stuff like that. Because again, the media and the powers that be, they put out the negativity. They support that, and that's what sells, you know. But why does it sell? You know, that's the question I'm trying to ask. You know, why do we want to listen to that toxic stuff over positive, good sounding music that's musically new and fresh. Like, so before I leave you, I want to give you some alternatives, you know, some other ideas of what you can listen to that I think is a lot more positive. So Afro beats, man. Afro beats are taking off. I'm so happy to see that. I think the Afro beats genre is just one of the best and up and coming in the whole global music game. There are some big artists that have really taken the scene and are really running with it, from 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤 to Burna Boy, Davido, and a lot others, right? So that's a good genre. Pop, like I like pop music. I like a little bit of The Weeknd and those types of guys. I like old school R&B, you know, for the most part. Like, there's so much old school R&B that is just lit, and it gives you that feeling, like that classic feeling, like of being back in like the early 2000s and stuff, like Monica, the old 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞, the Ashanti, all that type of stuff. It's cool, man. I like to listen to that. And then also try listening to some music from different countries, like reggaeton, salsa music. There's so many others, right? There's so many others, like even the Portuguese music from like Brazil and stuff has got its own vibe to it, and you're training your mind to listen to a little something different. And I don't know if this is factual, but I heard that like the beat, the cadence in rap music is like toxic to our brains and stuff. Like, I don't know if that's true, but I know when you start listening to new things, it does open up your mind, and it can, in a sense, make you smarter. You know, it's weird, but it's possible. You know, I know just learning the language makes your brain a little bit younger, right? Because you're using it in a different way, and you're not just sticking to the routine language that you always knew your whole life. And even, especially with the Latin music, I find that even the trap Latin music, the rap like equivalent to Latin music, it's not as toxic as our music, like our rap music. Like, you know, a lot of times they're talking about love, they're talking about girls. It's a lot less of the drugs and killing each other and, you know, that type of thing in the Latin reggaeton genre. So I just think that's interesting, and I really noticed it when I moved to Medellin, Colombia, and I've been living there, right, and listening to the music, and I just started picking up. Like, once I really learned the language, I was able to listen to all the music, and it's so much different than our rap music. Like, the rap music in the US is probably the only genre, probably in the UK too. I think they are kind of trying to copy our drill movement, like from New York and stuff. And so the UK, you know, they kind of copy some of the stuff from the US, but other than that, I can't think of any other music genre that is so negative, so toxic to the person that's listening to it. So again, guys, I just wanted to have that conversation with y'all, get my thoughts out. Let me know what you think about it. I'm very interested to see what you guys think about it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody, and don't forget to drop a comment and let me know what you think, man. I'm out. It's your boy Kari 𝐦𝐤𝐬. Peace.